Someone you love is sitting across from you at dinner. The food is good, the conversation is easy, nothing is wrong. And then it starts, the chewing, that wet, rhythmic, smacking sound of another person simply enjoying their meal. And for you, the entire world shrinks down to that one sound. Your chest tightens, your jaw locks. A wave of something that feels dangerously close to rage rises up from a place you cannot control. You want to scream. You want to leave the table. You want to throw your fork across the room. And then comes the part that hurts the most, the guilt. Because it's just chewing. So why are you like this? If that scene felt uncomfortably familiar, I need you to hear this very clearly. You are not crazy. You are not dramatic. You are not a bad person who hates the people around you. What you have actually has a name. And according to neuroscience, your brain is genuinely wired differently from the person chewing right next to you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand something about yourself that almost no one, not your family, not your friends, maybe not even your doctor, has ever been able to explain to you. The condition is called misophonia. Literally, it means the hatred of sound. But that translation is misleading, because what you feel is not a mild dislike. It is an instant, involuntary, full-body reaction. And here is the first thing nobody tells you. This is not an attitude problem. It is not you being difficult or sensitive or rude. For a long time, people with misophonia were told to just get over it, to stop being so picky. But brain scans tell a completely different story. Let's start with what's really happening inside your head, because this is the part that changes everything. You probably assume the problem is with your ears, that you simply hear these sounds louder than other people. But that's not it at all. Your hearing is completely normal. The difference isn't in your ears, it's in how your brain connects that sound to emotion. In a landmark study at Newcastle University, researchers put people with misophonia inside an fMRI scanner and played them trigger sounds. What they found was remarkable. In the misophonic brain, there's an abnormally strong connection between the auditory cortex, the part that processes sound, and a small but powerful region called the anterior insular cortex. The insula is the brain's alarm system. It's the part that decides what deserves your attention and fires up your emotions and your body's stress response. In most people, the sound of chewing is just background noise. The insula ignores it. But in your brain, that sound gets a direct line straight to the alarm system. So when you hear someone chewing, your brain doesn't process it as a person eating. It processes it as a threat, a genuine danger signal. And it gets even more fascinating. That same research found that trigger sounds activate the part of your brain that controls the movements of your own mouth and throat, almost as if your brain is involuntarily mirroring the person chewing. You're not just hearing them eat. On some deep neurological level, your brain is forcing you to feel like you're doing it too. No wonder it feels so invasive. No wonder it feels personal. Now that you understand the mechanism, let's talk about how it actually shows up in your life. Because misophonia is so much more than just chewing. The first sign is that your reaction is instant and physical. This is not a thought. You don't decide to be annoyed. The moment the trigger hits, your heart rate spikes. Your muscles tense. You might start to sweat. Your fight or flight system has fully activated over the sound of someone eating a chip. Studies have measured this. The physical stress response in a misophonic person is real and measurable. You are not exaggerating. Your body is genuinely responding as if it's under attack. The second sign is that it usually started with one specific person, often in childhood. For most people with misophonia, the very first trigger was a parent or sibling at the dinner table. There's a reason for that. The brain wires this response during the years when you're trapped in close quarters with family, often during meals, often when you couldn't leave. Your developing brain tagged that sound and that situation as something to brace against. And once that pathway is built, it generalizes. It spreads to strangers, coworkers, partners. The person who once felt safe to you can become the hardest person to sit beside. The third sign is that it's not only sound. it expands. Many people who start with chewing eventually become triggered by breathing, sniffing, throat clearing, pen clicking, keyboard tapping, even the sound of someone's flip-flops down a hallway. And then comes a cruel twist that almost no one talks about. Some people develop what's called misokinesia, a trigger to repetitive movement, a leg bouncing across the room, a person fidgeting in your peripheral vision. You don't even have to hear it. Just seeing it is enough to set off the same wave of distress. The fourth sign is the anticipation. This is the exhausting part. Once your brain knows a trigger is possible, it starts scanning for it before it even happens. You sit down at a restaurant, and immediately your attention locks onto whether someone nearby is about to open a bag of crisps. You can't fully relax at a family dinner because part of your mind is already on guard. This is hypervigilance, and it's the same mechanism the brain uses to keep you safe from real danger. Your nervous system has simply decided that a mouth is a threat that must be monitored. And the fifth sign is the one that quietly does the most damage. The shame. Because you know, logically, that your reaction doesn't match the situation. You know it's just chewing, so you blame yourself. You think there's something broken in you. You snap at the people you love and then drown in guilt afterward. You start avoiding meals with others. You eat alone. You turn down invitations. You isolate, not because you don't love people, but because being around them costs you more than anyone realizes. And the loneliest part is that the people around you usually have no idea what you're going through. Because how do you even explain that the sound of their breathing fills you with rage? So let me say the thing you've needed to hear. You did not choose this. You cannot simply will it away, any more than someone could will away a reflex. This is not a character flaw. It is a difference in how your brain is built. And here's the reframe that changes how you should see yourself. The same neural wiring that makes you so sensitive to these sounds is part of a brain that is highly attuned, deeply detail-aware, and intensely responsive to its environment. The insula that betrays you at dinner is the same region tied to empathy, to intuition, to the ability to read a room and feel what others feel. Many people with misophonia describe themselves as deeply emotional, creative, and perceptive. Your nervous system isn't defective, it's turned up. The volume on everything is higher. And while that comes with a real cost, it also comes with a depth of feeling and awareness that most people never experience. Now, what can you actually do? Because understanding is only half of it. People who learn to live well with misophonia tend to hold on to three principles. First, name it instead of fighting it. The moment a trigger hits, the worst thing you can do is judge yourself for reacting. Instead, quietly acknowledge it. This is misophonia. My alarm system just fired. This is a neurological response, not a moral failing. Naming it takes it out of the realm of shame and puts it back into something you can manage. Second, control your environment without isolating from it. This isn't about hiding from the world, it's about giving yourself tools. Noise-canceling earbuds at dinner, a little background music, sitting at the end of the table instead of the middle. These aren't you being difficult. They are reasonable accommodations for a real condition, and you are allowed to use them. And third, let the people you trust in on the secret. The shame grows in silence. But when you explain to someone you love that this is a real, studied neurological thing, and not a judgment of them, something shifts. The dinner table stops being a battlefield. You stop being the difficult one, and you become someone they finally understand. So the next time you feel that wave rising, the heat in your chest, the clench in your jaw, the urge to flee, I want you to remember this. You are not broken. You are not cruel. You are not alone. Your brain is simply running a survival program that fires at the wrong time, in a body that feels everything a little more deeply than most. And there is nothing shameful about that. If you saw yourself anywhere in this video, tell me in the comments. What was your very first trigger? And who was it? I promise you'll be surprised how many people are about to say exactly the same thing as you. And if this helped you feel even a little less alone, like this video and share it with the one person in your life who needs to understand what you've been carrying. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.